Right guys, welcome back to this episode of the Darn.exe podcast. Today I've got a very special guest, someone I met during a comedy night and he made me laugh my arse off, to be honest. And seems like funny's in his blood. So Scott, how are you today, mate?
I'm good, Don. How are you doing, brother?
I'm doing alright, mate. You know, I found myself a new job, won't say what it was, don't want to dox myself. But quite excited, it's going to be nice to be not unemployed. I should be able to buy myself, like, Taste the Difference if I need to, you know what I mean? Treat myself. Should be nice.
You do taste the difference as well, mate.
100%. I think, to be honest, yeah, so Taste the Difference compared to, like, so you know Tesco's had their deluxe range, yeah?
Yeah.
And it costs, I'd say it costs about more, it costs just as much as Taste the Difference compared to the normal Tesco's products. But Taste the Difference, quality-wise, is like here.
Hell yeah.
Like, they're like, they're not ripping you off. Whereas, like, the deluxe is better than the normal stuff, but price range, it should be like here. Like, it doesn't deserve to be here up there with the Taste of Difference.
Definitely not, man. There are certain things, right, that you can get away with buying the cheaper version of it, right? Like, for example, I get you know them Uncle Ben's rice packets, yeah? Like, I buy a cheaper version of them, and there's only so much you can do with rice, right? So when I bought one from like Aldi the other day, just a spicy Mexican rice, like 40p. You don't really taste the difference. Like, you can get away with a cheap version of that, but there are certain things, man, that look, it's worth paying for fucking pounds. Do you know what I mean? Like,
this isn't where I was gonna start, but let's get straight into it. What do you think the most value for money Taste the Difference item is? What for you is, like, if you could only get one Taste the Difference item ever again, this would be the thing that does it for you?
mate, it's probably gonna be. Do you know what? I get when I do roasts. I get a lot of my meat from there, man. I'll probably go with a lamb joint, you know.
Yeah.
I'll probably go with a meat joint, man, because they're like. I mean, my nearest shop to my house is in Iceland, right? And if you buy lamb from Iceland, and if you buy it, Takes the Difference at Sainsbury's, fuck me, there's a big time,
difference. Such a big difference. Even the way it cooks, mate. Like, the final product, it's an intangible. It's not like you can put a word on why it's better, but it's that much more juicy. It's that much more, you know, it takes in the seasoning that much bit better. Brown's that much nicer. Do you know what I mean? When you sort of go invest in some good meat. That'll be the moral of this podcast. Invest in some good meat, guys. All right, unless you don't eat meat, invest in some good roughage or hay, whatever you eat out there. But for me, it's going to be a meat product as well, mate. You know, chicken liver pate.
Yeah.
The Taste the Difference, man. The duck liver pate. Oh my god.
Oh, duck liver pate, lovely, mate. Had a Christmas.
They nailed it.
Bro.
Yeah. Oh, nothing like Christmas breakfast or like Boxing Day like lunch. Like, it's always lovely to have, man. Put in a sandwich with the roast stuff in it, or some of the cranberry sauce. Oh, so I've really put on a lot of weight this quarantine. I put on 20 kg.
You put on 20 kg?
Since it started, yeah.
I mean, you know what? I don't own the scales, which is probably good for me because I'd probably find the whole thing quite depressing. I don't know, like, it's weird because I've been going out, I've been keeping active, I've been running, I've got weights at home and shit. But I have also spent the last year and a half sat on my arse every day. Like, I haven't had to commute, I haven't really had, like, you know, I spend fucking 90% of my day in my flat. So, time's around and a lot of time eating shit. I mean, I'm on first name terms with some of my Just Eat drivers around here, man. So, I got 5 takeaways in a week one week, man. It was tragic. But I had nothing else to spend my money on, innit? It was still kind of takeaways.
It's like once they start recognising you as well, they give you a few more. They're a bit quicker than the last time. You know, they treat you a bit nicer the next time. They throw in a little bit of extra sauce. It's one of those things. Speaking of tiny, do you know what I rewatched the other day? It's a film called Small Soldiers, and it's like they're like animatronics. I think it was made in like the 90s, yeah. But I've been looking for this movie since I was a fucking kid, and I just thought like it faded into non-existence, and no one knew what it was. Anytime I asked someone about it, then randomly it's on Film 4, like all of the fucking films that you forget exist. But yeah, great movie. Would recommend it to anyone.
What film?
Small Soldiers or Little Soldiers?
I remember Small Soldiers. Got Tommy Jones doing one of the voices. I remember that.
Yeah. Great movie, mate.
Film, mate. Mate, do you know? I love a 90s film, man. Grew up on that shit. I remember Small Soldiers.
Yeah, man. The thing is, because I'm the youngest, like, in my family.
Same.
My siblings are like a bit older than me, so like most of my peers, I'm like, you remember VHS tapes and stuff like that, and like you'd get ones and it'll be green, and you'd be like, whoa, like I got a flood of VHS and it's completely green. And I loved it when I was a kid. Yeah. And they were like, well, we just had DVDs, and I was like, you didn't live, you missed. Oh, pardon me, you missed out. Like rewinding it all the way to the start with your eyes closed, so you didn't re-spoil a movie you'd already seen over and over again. It was very satisfying. I do miss it. Oh, believe. Oh wait, are you speaking, mate?
Green would still be jittering. Like they would still be moving when you hit the pause. But I remember.
Wait, pause.
Hello.
No, I can hear you perfectly now. I wonder why that happens. Do you know what I'm gonna do? I'm going to. I might drop off for you for 1 second, but I promise this will be fine. Connect to my private router. Right,
yeah.
Let's get into the questions. We've made this about just running off with it and going a bit crazy, but let's get to the fun. So, obviously, Scott, like we met at the open mic. I thought you were fucking hilarious. Like, I feel it was quite a good night. Like, a lot of people told some really funny jokes and stuff, but then you see everyone on the stage, and they've all got a slightly different voice and slightly different jokes. There's some people leaning into parody. There's some people leaning into just like shock. There's some people leaning into sort of like anti-humor. Like, what's his name? Trance. Oh, I don't remember his name, but he was hilarious.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, I don't know what. By the end of it, I was dying like to him. But I don't know why. Like, it's caught me off track.
Do you know what? It was for the first 3 minutes of that act. I thought, what the fuck's this bloke doing, right? And he took so long introducing his song. I mean, keep in mind, we were at 5-minute sets, didn't we? And it took so long to introduce his song. He only had about 30 seconds left by the time he hit the play button. So, song that he'd been bigging up for the last 4.5 minutes. Well, building up to doing it for fucking 4.5 minutes. They had to cut him off halfway through his song. Yeah, mate, it was interesting, that one, because he was more prepared than anyone. He had his outfit on, didn't he? He was like the rest of us. I was in a fucking t-shirt and shorts, like everyone else was cash. Yeah, this guy was. Casual. Yeah, no, he was. You could see all sorts on the circuit, man. He was next level, that guy.
But either way, everyone had their own different brand, and you're like, who is this person like during the week? Like, who's this person Monday to Friday? So like, who is this person? Who is Scott Monday to Friday? Like, how would you describe yourself to someone if they were asking for your like career description or something like
that? Do you know what? I mean, obviously, I'm married now. I've been married for 3 years. I've got a 2-year-old son. To be honest, I try and start to think. I love my football. I do a 9-to-5 job, but I'm doing it at home at the moment. Obviously, I love my football. Love my boxing. I'm big into sports. I like going to gym and stuff. Also, I like going to the pub. Love a pint. So I sort of like.
Very much like everyone. I'm sure anyone from the UK has grown up with the person you're describing. Like, just like someone who is very comfortable being themselves, but their self is like this very typical, like what you see in the UK. And I mean, like, I like boxing. I don't really like football. I watch UFC. I like going for a point. It's like there's all these things that are so paralleled for anyone who lives in this country, no matter where they're from.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. We've got things like that in common, man. Yeah, mate. I'm. What else am I doing at the moment? I mean, yeah, I was doing boxing training for a little while, but I've got an injury in my hand, so I stopped doing that. Plus, I'm 33 now. I ain't gonna get. I'll be gassed up.
Yeah, that's the weird thing, yeah, because like, especially like, I don't know. You have this fantasy. Like, I'm 23 now, yeah, and in my head, I'm like, I could still make it. Like, if I wanted to, I could still roll into a gym, and maybe they'd be like, wow, this guy's got crazy punching power. Do you know what I mean? But that is just pure fantasy. Like, if I walked into a gym now, there's people who've been there since they were 16, who have been knocking people out since they were like 17. Do you know what I mean? And I don't know. I don't think I could take a punch and then still be like ready to punch. I feel like I'd take a punch and I'd be like, get me the fuck out of here. Do you know what I mean? Like, now it's just flight all the way. Such a weird one, but I don't know. But either way,
yeah. No, do you know what? I got told, like, I was doing the training for a little while, right? And it's just all about this fantasy. My trainer said to me, and he was probably just saying it as an encouraging thing. He said it to me. He was like, "Oh, if you'd have done it, if you'd have got into it younger, he goes like, I reckon you could have had like I reckon you could have maybe gone like maybe had like a semi-decent like professional career doing it. You could have made a living doing it, right? And I immediately took that to my head, and I went around every pub in Surrey for about the next year. Like, tell me I could have been a pro. Tell me I could have been the next Tyson if I put my heart to it. And the reality is, that probably wouldn't have happened. He was just trying to big me up. But I kind of convinced myself I'd missed out on this big opportunity to be a pro boxer. I hadn't. I don't like getting hit. But I just took that comment and ran with it.
Nah, fair, mate. To be honest, like I've always been sort of master of none when it comes to like sports. Like, do it for a bit, realise I'm not going anywhere, and then I just go back to the gym. Do you know what I mean? Like, what's cricket? Not good at it. Back to the gym. Rugby? Not good at it. Back to the gym. So the gym has sort of become my church, my sort of fitness or whatever it is. But it's, I don't know, routine is routine. But speaking of getting out of a routine, what made you want to do stand-up? Was there like a moment? Was there like loads of people being like, oh, you should do stand-up, mate, you're pretty funny, you know? Do you do stand-up? Was there a lot of that, or what was it?
It was a lot of that. I mean, the thing is, but I heard a comedian say once, never do stand-up just because mates tell you you're funny in the pub. And there is something to that, because a lot of the things that make your friends laugh, a lot of the things that say to make my friends laugh are kind of personal jokes within your friendship group. Like, if I get up on stage, I'm taking the piss out of my mate Nathan, no one knows who Nathan is, so it don't matter. It's not going to find it funny. You're not going to be funny just because, like, to strangers necessarily, just because other people find it funny. Your friends find you funny. So I've been writing stuff, and I kept putting it off and putting it off and putting it off. There's always a reason not to do something in it. You know, I had a kid, I can't do it now. But eventually, my missus kind of said to me, just fucking, you don't want to go to your grave knowing you ain't giving it a go. Do you know what I mean? So that was probably about 3 years ago. So I've been doing stand-up, I mean, I suppose technically it's 3 years, but we had a year and a half where we couldn't really do nothing. So it's only really about a year and a half. I did a course, not so much because I needed help writing, but just the way of structuring sets and stuff. I did one, it was called City Academy. It's with this woman called Kate Smurthwaite, who's like a quite well-known, she's quite well-known on the circuit. And I did her class, and it ends with a gig at a comedy pub in Leicester Square. And my first gig there, and it went really well. And I just cracked on with it after that, really, bro. I've been doing it since. I blagged my second gig. My friend runs a pub probably about 10 minutes from me, and they get big names. They got a gig out of there called Math Brown. On my second gig, and I supported Reginald D. Hunter.
Did you get imposter syndrome?
Oh, mate, honestly, what the fuck was I doing there? Honestly, I was sat in the green room, bro, right? And you had a comedian who was just talking about, he was sat there talking about how he done it at Edinburgh Fringe, yeah? And Reginald D. Hunter's walked in, and I'm just sat, this is my second gig, and I was just, mate, couldn't have felt like a out of water. Like, it was ridiculous. I almost said no. When he said to me, I've got you on this gig, you can go on, do 5 minutes before Reginald Hunter, I thought, I don't know if I can do this, bro. Like, I did my first gig the day before. And then I asked that Kate woman who'd done my class, I said, what do you think I should do? She's like, go for it. She goes, you regret it if you don't. That was almost a baptism of fire, though, man, because that gig went well as well. And I kind of felt like, Reginald D. Hunter, by the way, coolest motherfucker around, mate. Such a good guy.
Oh no, I show my true identity. Sorry, school governors, please do not recognise me. But no, that's actually really cool, mate. So do you know what? And it's weird. So I've met there's 2 people doing this. When I've asked them, there's sort of 2 similar answers. Like, your answer's similar to me, where it's, and also I agree what you. Oh, so many things to say. So I agree what you mean when you say, like, do not, if only your friends think you're funny. I don't think you're funny. Like, I personally, like, for me, like, the thing that made me was like, maybe I should give it a go. It's just karaoke for jokes, do you know what I mean, is what I was telling myself. And then it was just people I didn't know, people I just met, and like stuff like that were like, oh, do you do stand up? Like, are you telling jokes right now? And I was like, no, I'm not. Like, this is the only way, this is the only form of confidence I've been able to build. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, you sort of lean off of your humour to make you sort of feel closer to people. Sort of that's what bounds you. Some people are just really good looking, some people are good at sports, some people are funny. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And I think it's been a crutch for me. So it was people like saying to me, like, say was saying to you, oh, do you do stand-up, stuff like that. And it's really nice you had such a supportive missives to go to like sort of give you that little extra push as well.
Absolutely, man. Did you start doing your podcast before the stand-up or stand-up before the podcast?
Mate, so that's sort of similar to you. So I took a year off of uni, and I was like, oh, like I took a year off because I hated it. Like, it was just like, get me out of this fucking school for a year, sort of year off. And I worked part-time, and I was like, and I'd had a few people at uni say, you know what, go do stand-up, so I started similar to you. And it was going similarly well. Look, so my first set, so the manager, I don't know if should I be putting this out. He's not going to hear this. I'm not that big yet. This won't come back to bite me until at least like a decade. Who cares? But like he was like the manager of a comedy store in London, and he was there, and he was like, "Oh, like you're really good," blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, what? What's going on? Because this is still like my first set.
Yeah.
So this is me, like I went out, I got drunk with my mates, I was like, let me go on, it's my turn, hey, and it just went really well. And he was like, it seemed like you've been doing it for months to learn. I was like, oh my god, instant imposter syndrome. I was like, this guy's just completely blowing smoke up my ass. So then like, I kept doing well, when I was doing open mics. I did have one set where I got, let's just say I'd had a few too many herbal remedies beforehand. And I was just completely like not in the room. I was like, I'd say a joke, but I'm not thinking about being funny or my body language or any of the other things that make something funny. I'm just be like, please laugh. Like that's like that's how it came across, and it was terrible. Yeah.
Oh mate, I had a similar experience. I'm yet to do a gig yet where I really bombed. I mean, some have gone better than others, of course, but I've not come off yet and gone like, oh my god, that was a fucking disaster. But I did have one thing similar to you. I don't know if you've done the Lions Den in Leicester Square. It's one of the open mic nights.
No, I haven't.
It's good. It's a good little venue, but they have a weird format for how they do the acts. They put 14 acts on a night, right? And they do first come first serve. You have to get to the venue and put your name down, like old school. You don't email, you don't text. You have to be there right and put your name down, right?
If you're employed, that's some bullshit.
Yeah, honestly, I got lucky because usually I work in central London when I'm in the office, so I'm actually quite well placed to do the open. But I got there and I'd still been beaten to the punch. There was 14 acts there before me, and they said to me, right, we'll put you on a standby list, right? And what they do is they pull one name out in the first half. There's 4 or 5 acts get put in the list, the ones who haven't made the cut for the 14, and they'll pull a name out of the hat in the first half and pull a name out of the hat in the second half. And I say, if you don't get pulled out of the hat, you're guaranteed a spot next time, but you won't be on tonight. I'm like, all right, cool. Yeah. I'm watching the show, didn't get pulled out in the first half. They pulled out the name of the hat in the second half, wasn't me again. I thought, all right, I had the day off work the next day. I thought, I'll embrace it as an audience member, right? And one of the acts who'd already been on, I'd got quite pally with, drinking with him, doing shots, blah, blah, blah. One act before the end, the fucking box comes on stage again. They're like, oh, we decided to do a surprise headliner. Pull my name out of the hat. At this point, Darn, right, I had 7 beers, 3-4 shots. I go on stage. First thing I do is grab the mic. I say, I'm fucking pissed. I didn't think I was going to be on. So I did. It still didn't go. It wasn't a disaster, but similar to what you just said, I was quite noticeably. I was half cut, and but they didn't tell me to be on. I thought I didn't see. Yeah, it was my fault.
Yeah. No, 100%. Like for my thing, I was like, oh, we'll get there in time. I'll have like a few performers. I'll have time to level down before. But because I got there, and then he was like, oh, do you want to go up? I was like, oh shit, of course. Never say no. Never say no.
Yeah.
Just say no. It's why not? So it's saying no is such a powerful word. My mum says no was my first word, so I really should hold it close to my heart. But I say yes, and yeah, it was just fucking disaster. But that for me, like similar to you, like that was the only set where I was like, that for me was a bad experience. Like I've never had a set where I've like, because every set I've been like, I'm doing my best no matter what, and I always feel like, I don't know, like do you watch UFC?
I do, yeah.
Do you know Rose Namajunas?
I believe
Rose. Bald. Just became champion of like strawweight division again, whatever. But before she went out and she re-won her belt back, she was like, I'm the best. And I know this sounds really stupid, yeah. Before I go out, I'm like, I'm funny. Like I can say what I want. I'm funny. I'll be funny. Just go out there and be funny. So that was the only time like I hadn't allowed myself that sort of like an hour before the performance, I never look at material. I don't practice anymore. I just try to enjoy myself leading up to it, so that I can go on stage feeling. It is literally confidence the sport. Do you know what I mean? Like,
you've got to be confident when you go on stage, because 90% of the joke's in the delivery, innit? And if you're nervous, and people can tell you're nervous, if you don't have confidence in your own delivery, you can tell the funniest fucking joke on earth. But if you tell it and you sound nervous, people ain't gonna laugh. You know what I mean? So,
yeah.
I mean, me and you, our open mic night, me and you were on last.
Yeah.
Weren't we? You were second last and I was last, right? We had all night to because they didn't tell us what. Did they tell you when you were going to be on? I didn't get told. I was just waiting for my name.
Kind of hated. Like,
but No, I was saying, like, yeah, because me and you were, and I was just kind of sat there waiting to get put on. I half expected to be put on in the first couple of people, but yeah, me and you ended up going last, didn't we? And I'm not a big believer. I don't judge people for doing it. I don't, but I don't write notes on my hands either. I don't. No. I see. I think it takes someone away from the performance. Do you know what I mean? And a lot of acts do it. Like I've done gigs where there's a guy. I've done a gig where there was a guy there trying out new material, and he'd been on Mock the Week and shit, and he had all this stuff written on his hand. And I thought, particularly for 5-minute sets, 5 minutes, learn your fucking set. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, like that was my opener. Like, because like since stand-up's been back, a lot of notes, a lot of note readers, a lot of like, and I'm just like, I don't know, like. So what was that? I don't remember what my opener was. It was I was half considering writing on my hand like some bootleg Prison Break or something like that, and like it's just ridiculous. I don't, because my thing is, even if you acknowledge it, it's like the audience knows you, but it's one of the only jokes where the audience is too in on the joke for it to ever be funny. Because they're seeing why it's making it not as good of a performance. It's almost better not to. It would be better to be like, oh, I practiced this. I practiced this set the last month. I've got it completely committed to memory. So enjoy, guys. Yeah. And then you whip out a piece of paper. Then it would be like, you know, like. But when it's like, oh yeah, I've got a piece of paper to help me out. Let's see if that helps. You just sound like a prick. Like I don't know. Like, put the work in, recite it back. It's 5 minutes. If you can't remember 5 minutes of information, wait, sorry, what was that, mate?
Exactly. Sorry, bro. I think I'm fucking falling behind for some reason. Sorry, bro.
That's alright.
No, I agree with you, man. It's the equivalent of an actor walking around with a script in his hand, isn't it? It's just like, it kind of takes some performance, man.
Yeah, 100%. Like, I don't know, but that takes me to the second question I had. So, how would you describe your brand of comedy? Would you say dark humour? Would you say storyteller? But what would you title that?
I would say a lot of it's storytelling. Like, I mean, in a 5-minute set for me, typically I'm probably only telling 3 or 4 jokes, but they're kind of stories, kind of thing. I throw the odd quick joke at us. I'm quite self-deprecating. Like, I take the piss out of myself quite a lot. You know, I've got to receive an airline. I'm ginger. You know, there's good. You know, there's a little. You know, I'm slightly overweight. There's stuff to work with. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, they're just tools in your arsenal. It's more ammunition.
Exactly, and it's hard to heckle someone who's up on stage taking a piss out of themselves. Do you know what I mean? 100%. But no, I would say quite a lot of it's sort of storytelling. I briefly, when I first started doing it, I briefly thought I wanted to do like one-liners. You know, like fucking Stuart Francis or something like that. But I got about 3 or 4 in, and then I realised, you know, that's actually a lot harder. These sort of one-line jokes are actually a lot harder. They're actually harder to do than the stories, because the stories, you're giving yourself time to make it funny and build up to a punchline. The one-liners, you've literally got to go from 1 to 60, and it's actually quite a hard brand of comedy to do. So I sat that off after.
Yeah, I can't, like, the one-liners I can't either. I don't know what it is. I think it's like maybe it's, I don't know, because it's for me, like, I'm telling stories and that's my comfort level, and I like telling my friends stories. I like telling people at bars I've just met, I like telling people in the smoking area stories. Like, anyone, if there's a story to be told, there's a story to tell, and I really enjoy doing that. And that's the only way I'm really, like, because I feel like eventually the punchline's less important than the image you've created with the story. Like the joke, the one where I'm like, in my head, my mum tells me about my dad's arrest, pokes her head into my room. Like, the image of her doing that is a lot funnier than the way I'm gonna tell it. So as long as I can portray why I found it funny, I hope they can find it funny. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely, man. I mean, it's yeah. I put a lot of my material out of like real life situations. Like, I mean, you exaggerate it a little bit to be fair. But first rule I got told in comedy is never let the truth get in the way of a good joke, right? So obviously there's elements you have to exaggerate things to make it funny. But I do base a lot of my material on real things. Like I did a bit in my set when the night you were at, where I talked about my friend who told me Alexas were spying on us, and I kind of was feeding his Alexa. I do have a conspiracy theory friend who was telling me that stuff the other day. And like, you know, it's mad like when you switch into that mode, when you listen to your friend say something and you think, I could do a bit on this. I don't know if it's just
Mate, here's what I do, yeah? I go, wait, shh, and then I record a voice note of me telling a fake joke. And I'm like, alright, carry on. And it just completely throws off the momentum of, like, any interaction. Like, but yeah, like, you do recognise that. Like, even, like, you're arguing with a homeless man, you're like, oh, this is a good 3 minutes. Like, this, do you know what I mean? Like, everything is just, it's all part of one big puzzle piece at this point, yeah. But that's the fun part about it, though. Like, I do think, I don't know, I think a lot of people lean on humour to make difficult situations seem easier. Like, I think usually the funniest people have, like, weirdly, like, the most pessimistic mentalities when it comes to actual life and stuff like that. So, like, do you feel like there is that sort of like, have you ever heard that joke? It's like a story, and it's like this man goes to his psychiatrist every day, and every single time he goes, he's like, I can't do this anymore, like, I'm so upset, I can't make anyone I just can't make myself happy, I feel sad all the time. And then he goes back week after week, and then on like the 50th week he's like, look, like, I appreciate all the help, but I can't keep coming to these sessions. I don't want to keep talking with you about my problems. And then the psychiatrist goes, look, there's one more thing you should try. The great Bozo the Clown is in the city, and he's doing a performance, and he's the funniest man in the world, and anyone who goes to see him laughs, and they uncontrollably. And he looks at the woman and he goes, ma'am, I am Bozo the Clown. So it's one of those things where it's like that some of the people who can see the nuance and see things from a sort of fucked up funny perspective, that is coming from itself sort of a weird, I don't know, insecurity about themselves in an odd way. But no, do you feel like do you feel like you've always felt you are a funny guy, like even from youth or adolescence? Like, is it?
Yeah, I mean, I've always tried to make people laugh, like always, you know, even whether it's people you work with, whether, you know, whether it's your family, you know, I've always managed to be able to get a laugh from people. Some people find you funny, others, some people don't get you. I mean, I've been in the room where I've tried to make people laugh, it ain't really gone down well, like, not necessarily on stage.
Haven't we all?
Absolutely, like, try to be funny at a wedding, try to be funny, you know, like, you're not always going to be everyone's cup of tea, but no, I've always tried to be funny. It's that's kind of my thing. I'm not a particularly good-looking guy. I'm not the most sporty. Similar to you were getting at, like, humour, kind of the thing I'm good at out of my mates. Do you know what I mean? I've got a lot of mates who are pretty boys, got six packs. I can tell a joke. That's what I do.
Yeah, so, you do it well.
It's kind of my
you do it very well.
Oh,
that was easily my favourite set from the night. I can't lie.
Oh, thank you.
That lamp. The lamb shank and the mint sauce bit, that is a very powerful, like, you've got easily a good 10 minutes there if you wanted. Do you know what I mean? Like, I love the perspective on that. Well, that's hilarious.
Yeah. The only problem is with that bit is see the premise of that joke is I'm being mugged. I'm 6'4" and like 17 stone, so people have to suspend their disbelief. I look like I'm the one who should be doing the mugging.
I think that made it funnier.
But
it's like when you put yourself in it, and like you I don't know, like, because you're obviously, the way you're telling the story, you're like, you don't seem afraid. I imagine in the situation you were, but like, because you're like, it is what it is, mate. Like, like, it goes to the imposing character of it, because then it just lends itself to the story that like, none of it needed to happen. Like, you are intimidated. Like, I don't know. I found it hilarious, to be honest.
Yeah. Thank you, man. Do you know, I've only done that bit. I wrote that bit shortly before lockdown happened, and I'd done it at a few gigs, and it'd been getting a few good receptions. And I almost, because I've spent a year and a half writing material without having anyone to do it to, I almost didn't put that in my.
And I was too focused on trying to impress them rather than just make the audience laugh. Just make the audience laugh as much as you can make the audience laugh, and you will always impress any onlookers. And I don't know. I think that's like that's where I was fucking up before. Like for me personally, like I'd get bored of material too often. I'd be like trying to do different jokes every single week, and it's like, yeah, that's cool. But then I noticed when I'd fuck up, I'd go back to a joke I told that I knew was good, and I was like, what if I just put all the bits I knew were good, and then I was like it's not about your enjoyment at the end of the day. You're the performer, so make the audience enjoy it, and that should be your main focus.
Absolutely. Yeah.
What was that, mate?
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone's got their fallback jokes. Like,
yeah.
The night we did our gig, right? I thought the knife bit would take me to the end of my set, right? The bit with the mug and then the lamb and that. But I finished that story, and the dude hadn't come onto the stage yet to get. Oh fuck! I've got time left here, so I probably ended my set on my weakest joke, but because I didn't think I'd get time to tell it, I kind of had to go. Oh fuck! I've got 30 seconds here. I better think of something to fill the time, because I always try and do the 5 minutes. You don't want to come off early, do you? You want to try. If you only get a 5 minute set, you want to finish it. And because I'd gone through on my what I thought was going to be 5 minutes in about 4.5, I just had to crowbar in like an old joke I hadn't told in ages on there. It weren't even that good, so I kind of ended the joke. I kind of ended my set on a bit of a weak one, but I mean, it's it don't always go perfectly. You forget shit. I mean, that's one thing when you don't write things on your hands and that you do forget lines and stuff. It happens. But I'd rather forget the odd line than fucking go up there with my hand full of fucking writing, man.
It doesn't sit well with me. It's like for me. I'll say it. Looks a bit lazy, and like I get what you mean. Like before, it was like when I went through, I thought my dad's story would last a lot longer, and then I remembered stuff after I'd started the next bit, and I was like, I can't go back to it. Like I can't go back and retell it and get those minutes back or seconds back or whatever. Yeah. So then I'm on my second joke, and then I ended around like 4:30. But my thing was like, as if I have 5 minutes, if I've done 4 minutes and 30 seconds, I would much rather leaving people wanting more and then be like, well, guys, that's me. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I'd rather walk off a bit early at a high.
That's why.
Yeah, like, because I don't know what it is. Like, you can do good for 4 minutes and 45 seconds, and then if I fuck the last 15 seconds, I leave thinking, was I shit? Like, was that whole thing shit?
Yeah, man. It's that whole "you only as good as your last joke" thing, isn't it? If the last joke before you leave, if you smash the set for 4 minutes, but then you do one towards the end that don't go down well, you come off stage and be like, oh fuck. Like, that's kind of what happened. I kind of thought the set had gone well. Then I think I even said after the joke, I went, I always end on a fucking strong one. Like, I kind of almost poked fun of the fact that it was probably I was just basically saying I should have done what you'd done, and after I'd finished the planned set in my head, just left rather than try to fill the time, because I'd done about 4.5 minutes at that point. But it's all a learning process, isn't it?
Oh yeah, of course, 100%. But no, I really appreciate you coming on, mate. I've wanted to have someone I've met, like another comedian I've met from another comedy night on the podcast, so this is the first for me, and I'm really glad you got to be the one, because it's very enjoyable. It's I know it's nice to sort of geek out about comedy a bit as well. Like you can. Sometimes I'm watching a comedy set, like a stand-up special with my friends, and I'm like, "Now, did you get that? Did you get that one?" Do you know what I mean? I'm dissecting it instead of and it's a weird one. So it's nice to be able to geek out about it and know the other person's still going to be on the end of the line and not just hang up on you.
Oh no, of course, mate. No, pleasure, man. As soon as you told me about it, I was like, hell yeah, I'm in, man. It's important to support each other as well, man. Like, we're all on the same team, and no, mate, like I said, you were my. I don't want to sound like I'm blowing smoke up your ass, but you were my favourite actor of the night, also, and I told you that at the end of the end of the show.
It's a nice exchange. It was. I love a good compliment, mate. My ego can take it, mate. But no, like. For me, like that meant that for me, like that's what made it a very enjoyable night. Like, and it might sound boastful, like people saying they enjoy, the other comedians saying they enjoyed your set does mean so much. Like, I don't know, it's a weird one. Like, when people in the audience enjoying it, it's like, yeah, but you guys are fucked up and you're eating pizza, how would you not enjoy it? But the people who are there nervous and they can still enjoy your set, that means a lot, for sure. Yeah, let's get to the fun questions now. So,
Go on.
there's a few things that this week have been, you know, that I've sort of had questions about that I don't really properly understand.
Yeah.
Football. I don't fucking know anything about football. And
Fair enough.
I didn't know someone almost died on the pitch. And I don't know anything. So all I hear is, yeah, someone had a heart attack on the pitch. And I was like, oh, what? And then I hear nothing else about it. So what actually happened with that?
This dude, so it was Denmark versus I think it was Austria, right? And there was a player called Christian, who he played in England for a little while. He played for Tottenham, and he basically just, with no one near him, he didn't get tackled or nothing. He just fell to the ground and like collapsed. And I'll be honest, mate, I was watching the game live at home. I thought he died. I thought he was dead. It's one of them ones. His eyes were open, and like, you know, like, but not in the good. You know, when it's sort of, it looked like he just died. His eyes were, he was like dead behind the eyes. His eyes were kind of bright open, and they were a lot of the TV channel got a lot of criticism because they were showing footage of him lying on that. Like, I mean, he was looking like he was banging trouble. His fiance, his wife was brought onto the pitch. You know, basically they had all of his teammates circle him so that the cameras couldn't see while he was getting treated. But oh mate, he came down tonight. He won't play football again. I think they've had to put a padlock, fucking worse. So yeah, no, it was quite harrowing footage, man. I've got to say. It was. But he's all right. He's recovered. But because you've had footballers die on the pitch before. It has happened.
I've never even heard about that. Like, you hear about boxers sometimes. Like, you hear about UFC fighters. They leave. They have a brain damage. What was that?
It was basically like an undiagnosed heart condition that he didn't know. And yeah, mate, he's only like 28, 29. Fucking fully like a fit fucking athlete. Jesus, God knows what happened to me if I go back on a football pitch if he's collapsing.
Do you know what? This is going to sound pretty harsh, and I don't have I have no stake in the game. I wish this guy all the best with peace and love. But when I hear undisclosed heart condition 28, I think cocaine. You know, that's what I think. That's where my head goes to. It just goes straight to cocaine. You know, it's snow. I'm like, how? 28, random heart condition, has no signs of it in his youth. Come on, it's got to be something, man. But yeah, either way. So I can't. Yeah, the fact. Oh yeah, I don't want to keep going on to about the cocaine thing, but yeah, I'm glad he was alright. I'm glad someone didn't actually die on the pitch. But I don't know, like, when it comes to football and what is the Euros? What are they?
It's basically a Europe. It's a competition between, like, I think there's 24 teams from across Europe compete. So it starts with, like, I think there's 24. So how many fours going to 24? I think there's 7 groups. Is it 7?
6. Fuck
me, my maths is shocking. But yeah, basically, it's basically a watered down version of the World Cup. Basically, it's the World Cup without the South American and African teams. Really, it's just basically just the European competition.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to England. I'm going to England, Germany on Tuesday.
Oh, really?
We're in the second round, and I managed to brag a last minute ticket. So I'm actually Wembley on Tuesday.
That's actually pretty sick, man. I like the fact. One thing I will say is it's nice. It's not just in one country. I know that's because of the Corona stuff, but it's sort of allowed the whole of Europe to enjoy it, which is nice to see, especially for someone like me who doesn't enjoy it because I don't know what the fuck's going on. But yeah, it's nice to see people come together over it. You know. Like, before, like, football would have just been like, once that guy died on the pitch, it would have been people like, yeah, come get your boy, man. Gave your boy a heart attack. Do you know what I mean? Like, the football hooligan-ness for me has always seemed like that kind of crazy. Now it sort of seems like it's mellowed down a bit for now, I guess. Do you agree? Is that, like, what would a seasoned football fan say to that?
Yeah, man. I mean, football hooliganism it still exists. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's still, they're still, like, I don't know. Whereas back then, it was back in the 80s and 90s, it was a bit more organised. There were people sort of meeting up and beating the shit out of each other. Nowadays, it's just a bunch of chubby little dickheads in Stone Island jumpers having a can of Stella and a line and thinking they're like, just wanting to fucking start a fight on the weakest bloke in the pub. It's not. I mean, I've not really experienced it at any of the games I go to, but I know it does exist still, and there's obviously still a big emphasis on racism in football at the moment. People taking the knee and things like that, and that's been getting booed. You've got half. That's very. Yeah, I mean, people. They'll take the knee on Tuesday, no doubt, and I guarantee there'll be people in the stadium booing it. Then I won't be one of them. But it's weird. There are dickheads in football. Yeah, but I just think I think with football hooligans and that, it's just they're not really fans of football. It's just an excuse to have a tear up. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. But now to a real man's sport, boxing. You let it slip before that you like boxing, as much as. Do you know what? British people actually really fucking love boxing. Like I don't know.
Frozen on me again.
Oh, shame. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, no, you're back. Okay. Apologies.
But British people love boxing, and I think we're all all of us are like Tyson's gonna beat Wilder. None of us even care about that. Like that's just a sham match because Wilder realised he would never be put back into discussion if these two fought, and they would probably go on to have a quite historic
100%.
That's why he just called that card. Like no one has respect for Wilder right now. But who do you have between AJ and Tyson?
I think Tyson. I think would. Oh, hang on, my TV's just randomly turned on. Hang on, 2 seconds. Sorry, don't want any background noise. I think Tyson Fury is a very unorthodox boxer. He's got a very unorthodox style, man. I like them both. I like AJ. I went to AJ's first professional fight.
Oh, cool.
I went to AJ versus Klitschko. I love AJ, but I think Fury would get a points decision. I don't think Fury would knock AJ out. I think Fury would win on points. Would be my prediction. How about yourself?
I 100% agreed with everything you just said. I love both of them. I love AJ. I love Tyson as well. I think they're both unique characters, personality wise. I think both. Champions wise, I think they're both good for the sport. I think they're good representatives. Yeah. But the way Tyson beat Klitschko versus the way AJ beat Klitschko for me is that's the discerning thing. It was close and hard fought when AJ fought Klitschko. Tyson danced around him the whole fight, and he didn't finish him, which I don't think he'll finish AJ either. But I think he's gonna make. I think people will be surprised how close of a fight this is going to be, and I think Tyson takes it just by decision. Yeah, I don't think AJ has the same cardio that he has. That's all.
Well, Tyson's not a big puncher, which is mad to say for a fucking 20 stone dude. But Tyson's not a big power puncher. It has been.
But yeah, so we both got Tyson winning by decision. Not if AJ wins, I'm sure both of us, if AJ's to win, it's got to be a knockout, right? Anyway, let's go into the last segment now. So this last segment is called "Am I the Arsehole?"
Yeah,
right.
No worries.
It's on Reddit. People they write stories about situations where they're worried that they're going to seem like the arsehole, they're going to seem like a bad person, all this stuff. And a lot of the times they're not bad people, but some of the times they are. So we're going to have the final say on who these fucking scumbags are. All right?
No worries.
So
just want to say, since we turn my camera off, I can hear you fucking perfectly. We know for next time.
I know. Next time we just got to do it like this, strip the whole fucking thing.
Get my mic on screen for about 5 seconds, and then turn me off, mate. Because I can hear you. Oh, you've been perfect since we turned my camera off.
It's such a weird. That's the weirdness of it, isn't it? That's having a remote podcast. The aim is one day to have a studio, but I'll start thinking about that once I'm earning money from this. So far, I'll invest in a laptop and do my best.
No, of course, all day studio one day, mate. Good aim to have.
Yeah, mate. Picture myself being a really left-wing version of Joe Slogan. Because ever since he moved to Texas, he just has like, I don't know. It's not. I used to really enjoy the podcast before he moved to Texas. Now it's like every other person is like a civil rights, like a guns rights NRA. I'm like, I don't care. We don't even have guns here.
No. I like Joe Rogan, but like I remember I went to listen to one episode one day, and it's like 3 hours. I haven't got 3 hours spare to listen to someone else talk. Fucking hell. I don't even listen to my wife for that long a day, and I live with her.
By design, I imagine. But either way, so am I the arsehole?
Yep.
My classmate saved goldfish by releasing them into the ocean, and I called her a dumbass. Right, so that's the story. My classmate recently made a TikTok and showed me and a group of people at lunchtime. They were next to our table, so we heard the girl saying, "Hey, look at my TikTok I made, come check it out." Jesus Christ, this person sounds so fun to be around. And in it, she explains how she rescued goldfish from the pet store and released them into the ocean so they can be free. Oh my god. Alright. I was horrified upon hearing this. I love fish and have several aquariums, so I'm fairly knowledgeable on them. Oh, you sound like an even bigger dickhead, mate. Who cares about how knowledgeable you are about fish? Jesus.
Fuck.
Well, why are you not... Anyway, sorry. Look, I've watched enough Blue Planet as much as Nyats Guy, but I wouldn't call myself knowledgeable on fish.
No, it's too right.
I walk over and I asked her to show me the video, and I facepalm. She asked me why, and I said, "You realise you're actually a dumbass, right? This is one of the dumbest things I've ever seen." Her friend says, "Well, that's just rude. Why would you say that? Because she cares." Oh my god. These I'm gonna give these people that they're in school. I'm gonna give them that. Because assuming they're in a cafeteria, they're children. This is very important to them. Knowing a lot about fish is very important to you when you're a child. It matters a lot. To which I had to explain to her that that goldfish are freshwater fish and they can't survive in the ocean because it's salt water. So they would be dead in minutes. They basically choke to death and salt fill their gills. Lastly, you never release animals into the wild. There are goldfish that are destroying our rivers and lakes because of dumbasses like her. Oh, okay. That's why you were proud about being knowledgeable about fish. You actually had key specific knowledge on this, like niche knowledge and understanding about why this was bad for fish. Good. Fair. Well done. I didn't know any of that.
I mean, I don't think anyone comes out of that story looking great, if I'm honest.
That's not the full end of the story.
Oh, fuck me. Go.
They say that I'm a bully and walk away. I later get called into the principal's office, who told me I was expected to apologise. I said no. I stand by what I said. I fucking love fish. It doesn't say that, but I had to have that in. Fuck ignorant people.
I love someone being that passionate about goldfish.
Dude, this person is passion in writing form. Fuck ignorant people who destroy the environment. My parents were called over and I got sent home, and my parents are pissed I refuse to apologise. I might get suspended. Oh my god, bro.
Jesus Christ.
Just go to school, bro.
Yeah. There's bigger things going on. I'm not being funny. I don't think, is that the whole story, by the way?
That's the whole story.
Yeah, I don't think anyone... Look, the girl that released the fish obviously was well-intentioned, but at that age, you're probably not doing it to save the fish. You're doing it so you can post on TikTok telling people that you saved the fish. Exactly. You're doing it, it's virtue signaling. Like, you're doing it to get fucking praise off other people. So they're kind of arseholes. But also, I can't side with some uppity fucking girl who starts lecturing people on golf. I mean, listen, I'm 33 years old. I didn't know goldfish couldn't survive in salt water. I mean, it's one of them ones.
May I ask, if you were planning on it, do you think you would have Googled, can you release goldfish into the sea at least? If you were actually trying to save them, you would have done that at minimum.
No, that's very true. If you're going to give it the Ace Ventura, you should at least you should at least have... Because I'm not being funny, goldfish already don't have great lives. I mean, bloody, you can win them at fun fairs if you hook a fucking duck.
I mean...
The quality
they're
of life
like
already is
fish
brilliant.
slaves. Like,
Yeah.
you can get them for free if you throw enough ping pong balls into these jars. Like,
Yeah.
it's yeah, they're already. Come on, like it's not. But also, it's not the thing to get on your soapbox about. Like, no one cares that this isn't iRobot and you're saving all of the robots. You're not saving all of the goldfish. Like, in essence, you let these ones die. So you standing on your soapbox about this does nothing for anyone.
Yeah, yeah. I don't. I think. I mean, getting into the being called a bully and then getting taken to the fucking principal's office for it, and her parents getting called.
Where do you go to school? This is an issue.
If my parents, if my old man, when I was a kid, if my headmaster had called my old man and said, "You come into the office, Scott's bullied some kids over killing the goldfish," my dad had been like, "Oh, fuck off," and he would just hung. My dad wouldn't have come down to the school for that shit.
Yeah, I mean, likewise, mate. Like that would have never been anything that we would have. Yeah, that would have never happened. Like it, but it's also like I don't know. I wasn't necessarily the best kid at school, but it's fairly easy not to get sent to the principal's office.
No,
like,
yeah,
I don't. Like, so part of me doesn't believe that this is all you said. It sounded like you. I mean, you called her a dumbass, like, and I feel like that's not all you said. There's no way that's all you said to go to that other people noticed this. Unless like, the gossip mill got on and then like they spread a rumour that you were like, I don't know, body shaming the fish, whoever the fuck these schools are getting in trouble about nowadays. I don't know.
Yeah.
Your parents sound like arseholes as well though, because I mean like, if it's like my mum is very petty. She's very much a Karen, even though she's black, and she would have come into the school and be like, well, was he wrong? And if the teacher was like, well, no, he's not wrong, then my mum would be like, don't apologise. Like, the fact your parents are being mean to you now for not... I would have still been like, I can't believe you fucking made me come down to your school for this fucking horse shit. But I'd respect your right not to apologise. Like, if that's where... I mean, who knows? Maybe you'll be a marine biologist one day. Or maybe you will.
Absolutely. I mean... It's weird because I think they're both kind of... You notice the girl that was all about the goldfish, she's gone straight on the internet and told her story. So, in a way, she's got the same intentions as the girl to fucking put the goldfish in the fucking sea in the first place. They wanted to get attention by putting it on the internet, and she's wanted to get attention for sticking up for the goldfish by putting it on the internet. So they've kind of both got the same...
Yeah,
they're both,
two sides of the same coin.
Yeah, they're both saying, look how much we care about fish. The only difference is one of them's got a bit more knowledge about it than the other, but they're both trying to score points on the internet by saying, look how much I care about animals. You know what I mean?
Fucking morons. Let's just say everyone's a bit of an arsehole on this one.
Yeah, I would say so.
Now, what's the next one? Am I the arsehole for kicking my friend out of the car? Earlier today, I was driving my friends back home after we worked out. We passed these two girls walking, and one of my friends rolled down the window and says, I like those titties. Oh my god. I like how those titties jiggle. How about you give the boys a flash? Oh my god. You have some great friends, my friend.
Yeah.
Instantly I got angry when he said that. I pulled around the corner and told him to get out. Okay, look, bro, like, I know he like embarrassed. You're gonna throw your friend out on the street. I don't.
Yeah. I mean, look, don't get me wrong. The guy comes across as a total slick.
Yeah,
I mean, look,
complete tosser.
If you're gonna do the cat calling, maybe a little cheeky beep, like, all right, girls, how you doing? Like, can you shake your titties and give me a flash? It's borderline. It's fucking sexual harassment, isn't it? And the problem is that when you put yourself in the driver's perspective, if those girls want to call the police, it's his number plate they're handing over, not his mates.
100%. So, like, if you're gonna do that, make sure it's your fucking car.
Yeah, I think that's where the mate's the arsehole. I think if it's your car, your rules. If I want to be a pervy creep, I'll do it in my car. If I'm going to be harassing women, I ain't going to be doing it in someone else's motor, because, like you say, if they call the police and want to report it, they're gonna know the number plate in there. That's what they're going to do. I would probably still have dropped my mate home and just said, you're a wanker, don't talk to me for a couple of weeks, you pissed me off. I probably wouldn't have ditched him in the street. I mean, it depends how far from home he is. I mean, if he's 10 minutes walk from home, it's no dramas, is it?
There's more to the story. Let's see,
go on.
How this unfolded. He thought I was joking, but I wasn't, and he started arguing. Oh my god. So your friend, this guy's a prick, because, like, what's he trying to defend? It's my right! It's my right to tell her I like how those titties jiggle. All right, it's my right. Well, my God-given right. He was saying it was just a joke. He was messing around. Everyone was on his side, saying it wasn't a big deal. See, here's the thing. That's the point where you kind of do need to kick him out of your car.
Yeah.
If everyone else is siding with him, he needs to know that this is not okay for him to do again. At least.
Yeah. Absolutely. Do you know what though? Imagine if a plot twist. She'd gone, all right then, and flashed her tits. All of a sudden, he's a hero. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's one consensual woman away from being a bit of a legend. Like, I just got a girl that flashes her tits. Brilliant. But it's not. But that's only going to be one in every 5,000 women going to do that. If that. So, nah. Yeah, no, the friend is sounding like the arsehole, but is there more to the story? Does it progress into a fist fight?
Nah. So he lived the furthest away. Oh, wait. So at first he said he wasn't getting out, but then I said I was gonna snatch him out if he did. Oh, this okay, okay, all right, fair enough. It's your car, it's your property. He should get out if you say. He finally did with no type of physical encouragement. He lived the furthest, but I made him walk the rest of the way. Everyone else was still mad at me. I dropped them all off and went on my way. I called the guy I kicked out to make sure he got home safe and told him to never say any shit like that around me ever again. He apologised, but was still mad because he thought me making him walk was too far. Do you know what? I don't think you're an arsehole. Like, I don't think you're an arsehole at all. Well, once everyone else starts backing him up, I'll kick them out too. Fuck him.
Yeah, I think for me, it's a case of if he's had to walk 20 minutes, half an hour home, fuck me, it's not the biggest deal in the world, is it? I remember once, me and my friends left. I'm not particularly proud of this, but we left my mate in Brighton. We'd gotten a limo down there for my friend's birthday. Like he'd splashed out this limo, and basically it was picking us up at about, I think, 3 a.m. when the club closed, right? And my mate had pulled some girl, but he wasn't. He was only sort of like, I don't know. I think he'd gone to get some food with this girl or whatever. And this limo driver was telling us, "Well, I've got to go." And we tried calling him a couple of times, but it went out, so we fucked off and left him. Now Brighton is an hour and a half away from where I live. Now he was legitimately pissed off of us for weeks, and I get that because we left him in Brighton.
Yeah.
But if it's a case of this dude's had to walk 20 minutes home from the gym, I mean, it's not the fucking biggest deal in the world, is it? I don't think it's. Yeah, I'd be inclined to agree with you. I think the driver's in the right here.
Yeah, I mean, it's plus you're obviously doing them all a favour if you're dropping them all off. So at the end of the day, your house, your rules, your car, your rules. And,
absolutely.
Good on you for setting your boundaries, mate. But yeah, I don't think I would have kicked my friend out of the car. But if when I said, yeah, dude, don't do that shit, he was like trying to defend it. The pettiness in me might be like, well, defend this walk home, bro. Do you know what I mean? Defend this pedestrian path.
Yeah. I agree. I wouldn't have been as passionate about it to kick him out either, but I don't disagree with someone else who's going to do it. Like, you know, someone who's a bit more passionate about it than me. I would have been like, what are you doing, you dickhead? What are you doing? Like, I would have had a word with him, just been like, you know. But yeah, I don't know if I would have felt passionate enough about it to pull over and be like, get the fuck out of my car. I don't know. I'm quite laid back. It probably wouldn't have been enough to rile me up that much. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I can see why it would.
Yeah, fair. All right, next one. Am I an arsehole for putting sauce on my steak? Alright. I'm a 32-year-old male. I've been dating my girlfriend, a 32-year-old female, for just under a year. We have, I think, a really good relationship so far. I think is in brackets, by the way. I'm a little puzzled by a fight we recently had and want to know if I was in the wrong. About a week ago, she asked me if I could come over to her house if she could come over to my house and make me a nice meal. I told her, of course. Why would I turn that down? She came over with a couple of porterhouse steaks, some corn on the cob, potatoes, asparagus. She proceeded to grill everything but the potatoes, which she boiled in the kitchen. Wait, so far this sounds great. And while she was busy cooking, I took it upon myself to set out the table on my back deck. I included candles as well as what I considered basic spices and condiments such as salt, pepper, butter, and steak sauce. Right, so far nothing out of line. When my girlfriend served our 2 plates of food, she saw the bottle of steak sauce that I had included and said, "Oh hell no." this is a good cut of steak, and I seasoned it well. Don't you dare put steak sauce on it. I did take a couple of bites of the meat naked, but while it was tasty, I just really missed the slight tangy sauce, and that I think it complemented even a good cut of meat. I told her that. I told her that she could continue. She couldn't have done a better job, but just due to my own taste, that I was going to use a small amount of sauce to enhance the flavour. The thing is, you know this is exactly how he said it as well. Just going to use a wee amount of sauce to perforate my palate and make me enjoy this meal a little bit more, you know what I mean? She got really mad at me. Yeah, because you're trying to patronise the shit out of her. Just be like, I want to use sauce. Like, it's okay. And she got really mad at me. I think that she was being unfair and that she took it personally. I just happen to like steak sauce, even on a really good steak. But maybe since she sprung for a couple of good cuts of meat and was nice enough to cook them for us, I should have just eaten my meal the way she wanted me to. What do you think? Was I wrong?
I'm a sauce guy. I won't lie. I like having. If I have a steak, I like putting peppercorn sauce on my steak. I'm a sauce guy, and
Same.
I would better do. I can see. I've had. It wasn't my wife, but I've had one of my mates' wives cooked for me once, and she got the hump because I put sauce on something she cooked. I can't remember exactly what it was. It might have been a roast. I put a little bit of ketchup on my meat, I think. She weren't happy with me at all. People get funny about it because they're a bit like that. Yeah. They're cooking alone, safely enough. But I'll always back the sauce guy. I'm a sauce guy, man. I've got loads of hot sauces and that in the cupboard. I'm big on that, man. I would back the sauce guy to the hills. But I have been in that situation. I have had someone get the hump with me when I put sauce on food that they've cooked for me. But I don't get it. It's my personal choice. I don't. Yeah.
If you don't want me to put sauce on it, cook it better. Make it taste nicer. Do you know what I mean? Certain foods, I don't need a fucking sauce of it. I do love a sauce. I think it's just an extra element you can add to any dish, whether it's a gravy or it's a hot sauce or it's a vinaigrette or it's a little cream sauce. Like all of these things, they add extra depth. Do you know what I mean? You can't just say all sauce is bad. Do you know what I mean? Maybe if you're like, look, if you'd made a fucking steak sauce, I wouldn't have put this fucking normal store-bought steak sauce on the table. But you didn't go through the extra lengths to make me a gravy or a mint sauce to have with the steak. So what am I meant to have? Dry steak with boiled potatoes? Like, come on, man.
That's a dry dish without, no matter how well she seasoned it. Steak and potatoes without any kind of sauce or that's a dry dish, man. And I love steak, but it is. And I'm assuming if this is an American person who's told this story, the steak sauce they're probably referring to is A1 steak sauce, which
great steak sauce, mate.
Lovely sauce, mate. Lovely sauce. So I'd be straight backing up the sauce guy, or straight backing up the dude on this one, man. I think no matter how well you season a meat, even the best steakhouses in London, you get the option of a sauce of them. You know, when you go to Gaucho, they offer you what kind of sauce you want with your steak. It's not unusual to have a sauce on a steak. No, so I don't.
It's more unusual not to have a sauce.
Yeah, absolutely.
With your steak, do you know what I mean? Even it's like a little bit of olive oil or something, just to make it that that little bit more juicy. Like it coats your mouth a bit better. It's like you're bringing out some of those more grassy flavors or whatever fucking chefs say. Do you know what I mean? I'm team sauce as well, mate. Like I love mayonnaise. I'm not a big fan of ketchup, but ketchup with eggs and ketchup with hash browns, the only condiment you can have with them. Actually, brown sauce as well. Brown sauce, I fuck with.
Yeah, I agree. Ketchup only suits certain dishes. What pisses me off? I've got a mate I go Nando's with. He puts ketchup on his Nando's, and that fucks me off, right? Because what are you doing here? If you're just having chicken and chips with ketchup, you don't need to come to Nando's. There's less expensive places you can. But you go to Nando's for the peri peri sauce, surely.
You're only paying for the sauce. That's the only reason you go
there. Honestly, that's a big bugbear for me. If I go Nando's for someone and they put ketchup on their fucking shit, I'm like, what? I don't even know what you're doing here. I don't. It's nuts to me. I've got a big issues with that. But other than that, no, I get what you're saying. It's ketchup. It suits a fry up. It suits certain dishes. But yeah, I'm not a massive fan of it like you. I put sriracha sauce over everything at the moment.
I fucking love. Dude, do you know what? Yeah. Here's the combination. This will change your life. Yeah.
Go on.
A little bit of olive oil.
Yep.
6 cloves of garlic.
Yeah.
Tablespoon of your favorite hot sauce. Yeah.
Yep.
Then, like twice as much apple cider vinegar as the oil.
Yeah.
Then some, like, you know, if you've got some chili oil or some like chili flakes or whatever, throw those in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Throw yourself
Yeah.
in like a little mint leaf.
Yeah.
Bit of ginger, knob of ginger, yeah. And then just blend the fuck out of that.
Yeah.
And this, I call this sauce my Darnell's makes anything better sauce. All right. You can throw this shit in a gravy, it'll make it better. You can throw this shit on a burger, it'll be fucking great. You can add it to some mayo, you get like perfect spice seasoned mate. I promise you, it's a masterpiece.
I'm game. So we've got olive oil, garlic, ginger, mint leaf, bit of sauce, and some chili oil. Yeah.
Yeah, and don't forget the apple cider vinegar. That's and then a tablespoon or 2 tablespoons of honey. That's what ties everything together.
Yeah, we've got honey. Do you know? I actually think we've got all of those things.
That's what I mean. Everyone has all those things.
I do. I think we've got everything bar the mint leaf. I think we've got everything.
If you've not got a mint leaf, throw in a fresh bay leaf, mate. Throw in some fresh thyme. Throw in whatever fresh seasonings you've got. Throw in a scallion. I don't know. Treat yourself. But yeah, your girlfriend's an asshole, mate. Like, just be like, if she's getting this mad about sauce, this is not going to last long. I promise you.
Yeah, absolutely. She sounds a bit tightly wound, like, because I don't like dry meat. Oh, come on, love. There's bigger things going on.
Yeah, come on, mate. There's people dying. Yeah, complain that I want A1 with my steak. It's steak sauce.
Yeah, it was paid for the dish you've prepared, love. I mean, come on.
Yeah, it's like being mad someone's using Windex to clean a window. It's like, what would you prefer? I use fairy liquid. Yes, I use fairy liquid. I made this window special so that you won't need to use no, it's just ridiculous. Ridiculous. But now let's get on to we'll call this the last Am I the Arsehole. Save myself some editing. But this one had a funny title and I wanted to read it, mate. So hi there. That's what it says. I recently moved to a new city and joined a local gym. I've always worked out in my apartment before, but this new apartment does not have. The gym at her apartment before, but this new apartment doesn't have one. So I joined a local chain gym. When I work out, I usually wear compression shorts and a t-shirt, mostly because I find that the most comfortable for the types of exercises I do. However, a couple of weeks ago, after joining, I had a woman come up to me and tell me I needed to put pants on. This wasn't a gym staff, but just another member. I asked her if there was any rule or dress code that specified that, and she said she didn't know, but I was exposing myself, which is inappropriate. This woman sounds like a bitch.
Yeah.
Dude, if I'm at the gym and I've got half my bollock hanging out because my shorts are so short, don't come up to me and tell me how to wear my shorts, alright? I don't come to your place of work and slap the dick out of you, man. You don't come to me when I'm halfway through a work. It can ruin the whole feel of a workout. A lot of workout's psychological. How comfortable you feel is how good you work out. Do you know what I mean? Like, when you're going on a run and you get that runner's high, a lot of that is because you're not thinking about any of the bullshit. You're just providing free bullshit to ruin my workout. Ugh.
Yeah,
I would have knocked a woman out. I'm joking.
Yeah, I can't be doing. Do you know what? I find with that, I'd almost go the other way. I'd turn up next week in tighter shorts. I think I'd almost want to antagonise the situation just to piss her off. Like,
100%.
Yeah, I can't stand that. Like, but people, like, if it was a member of the staff saying that you can't come to this gym, I mean, that's one thing.
Store policy is one thing.
Yeah, so if it's just some uppity cow who wants to come over and give you a 5 pence when you ain't asked for it, nah, I'd be. There's no way. I'm not gonna. Why am I gonna pander to her?
Wow. I just read a little bit ahead, and this is a bit of a plot twist. All right.
Go on.
For the record, my compression shorts are not translucent or anything. They are grey, heather, or black fabric, depending on the pair. What she is referring to, though, is the bulge. This is a guy. That changes the whole story. Why are you wearing compression shorts?
Okay. I mean...
Okay. What she is referring to, though, is the bulge, which obviously is visible when wearing compression shorts. Yeah, bro. If your dick is obviously visible, can't like that has changed the whole story for me.
It has a bit for me as well. I remember when I was at the gym. I was at one of the previous gyms I was at. There was a guy that would wear. There was a sauna afterwards, and me and my mate, when we got to the gym, we'd always go for a sauna afterwards. Yeah. And this guy, this old man would come in, and he littlest pair of pants you've ever seen in your life. And they weren't even trunks, man. They were just pants, and he'd just come in this sauna, and we'd immediately be like, "Fuck's sake!" Like, you know, like we'd give it about 30 seconds to be polite, then we'd leave. Like, you know, it was. Yeah, no,
Bollocks
I think.
O'clock.
Yeah, I think women are more inclined to get away with it. Not. This isn't a sexism thing, but it's a case of women's. Men have got the bulge. Women's stuff is all a bit neater down there, isn't it? You know, there's nowhere as blood. It's all hanging out. Yeah, no. I might be team bitch all of a sudden.
Yeah, you sound like a bitch now. Like, I don't understand why you want the whole world to see your dick. Like, it's like what you're saying. Like, women, everything's a bit cleaner down there, less like protruding things, less, you know. Yeah. They have boobs, so they cover a bit more up top. We cover a bit more downstairs. It's just one of those natural things in life. You do it to make everyone else in the room feel more comfortable. You know what I mean? Yeah. And a dude who's wearing shorts that tight, and if he's got a bit of a bulge, he must be at least semi-aware that's you know, you think to yourself, you pay attention to it. Do you know what I mean? Well, he just said it's obviously visible, so he does know it's fully that. Like, okay, I told her I don't believe there is any issue with my shorts and put my headphones back in. Well, I respect your pride and I respect your confidence, but there is a big issue here. A couple of weeks later, I had a different woman come up to me and do a similar thing. She came to me and asked, "Are you going to put pants on, dude?" To which I told her I was wearing shorts. Oh my God. The gym itself hasn't talked to me about this, as far as I'm aware. It's not that unusual to wear compression shorts, nor do I see how they are really any different than leggings, which are very common. I can understand the visible bulge may make some people uncomfortable, but how hard is it just not to look at it? Oh, do you know what? So this is a thing. This is like a weird, like, double standard thing. Because if there was a girl in the gym and she wasn't wearing much, I'd be like, you let that woman dress how she wants to dress, yeah? But when it's this guy and everyone can see his nuts, yeah? I'm like, send him to prison. Like, send this man to jail. I don't know why it seems so much more aggressive, but like...
Do you know what? In fairness, it sounds like the two people that have come up to him have both been women. And the thing is, I will say that boobs are at least nice to look at. Like, the penis and bollocks are quite unattractive to look at. I mean, they're not. People have never looked at a pair of bollocks and gone, "Oh, they look nice." Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's not a particularly attractive body part, and I don't know. And also, in terms of a bulge, it is difficult not to look at it when it's there. I watched the film the other day. What I do on my podcast is we review childhood films as adults and kind of look at it again and kind of
that
from
sounds like a class.
Yeah, it's cool. But we did The Labyrinth the other day. I don't know if you've seen it with David Bowie. Yeah, it absolutely is. Completely agree with you. But there's a scene in that where Bowie's got this bulge in his fucking shorts, and you can't not see. He's got these tight shorts, and he plays the Goblin King, and you can't not see the bulge. So
Goblin King, come on, bro.
Yeah, but has its own connotation. Gives that name, doesn't it? But that you couldn't in that scene. All you're looking at is his bulge. So if this dude's rocking about a pair of David Bowie shorts at the gym, saying, "Oh, it's not difficult not to look at it," I can assure you it is. I can assure you it's like car crash mentality when you can't stop looking at it.
Yeah, like morbid curiosity, and that's what it. Because sometimes you see like a woman at the gym, she's felt a bit confident that day. Yeah. No matter whether she's 20 pounds to 20 kg overweight, she's felt confident. She's decided to wear something revealing, and even though you might not necessarily be attracted to the female form that she's putting off for that day. You can't look away. Do you know what I mean? But it's one of those things where even that is less. It makes me grimace less than a bulge. I don't know why. It just seems more aggressive. I don't know. I think just wear some different shorts. Like, if your argument is that girls can wear what they want, it's like they don't have dicks, and everyone can see a dick, and no one wants to see a dick.
No one wants to see a dick. I don't. Yeah, I think it's different just because I just think our genitalia is just not as it's not as nice to look at, I think, generally. And I think women would say that. I don't think there are. It's just not a particularly attractive.
It's not like it's just one of those things. It's like a steak looks a lot better than a hamburger. When do you know what I mean? When you take all it's just one of those things. Some things look better than others.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dicks are dicks. And I think we'll end on that. I think that'll be the moral of this podcast. No one wants to see your dick, man. No one wants to see your dick. Remember that. Take that with you as you go to bed. But thank you for listening, guys. Thanks for coming on, Scott. It's been a pleasure.
Oh, you're welcome, bro. It's been really fun.
And until next time, guys, have a beautiful day.
Nice one. Cheers, everyone.
Boom. All right.
Thank you for listening to Darn.exe.